of being ill or terminally ill is sometimes when you tell people that you are, and they can seem very tone deaf to when you're telling them that. And I want to delve into that today because when that happens, and that can seem extremely hurtful, that they just really don't care. Almost like you just told them that, the sky is blue or something. They just seem like you just told them something that really isn't that earth shattering. Yet, it's very earth shattering to you because you're the one that's going through that. So, I want to look at that because a lot of times it's not that they are feeling indifferent and don't care. So, it's very frustrating, of course, at the time when this happens. And it can be very angering to you. You can have your feelings hurt, feel very sad, like I said, and feel like that person doesn't really truly understand what you just told them. And that can be very upsetting for you at the time. But one of the reasons that the person that you're telling this to might appear to be tone deaf to what you're telling them is the emotional shock and disbelief of what they're hearing from you. Because that is very big news, of course, of whatever it is that you're telling them like that. And especially if it's a terminal diagnosis, that can trigger shock, numbness, and even disbelief of what they're hearing from you. It's the body's natural way of coping with such shocking and devastating news that it can appear that that's how they're responding, is indifferent. Maybe they're silent, maybe they're avoiding it, and that can feel like indifference, but it's really not. It's just the body's natural way of coping. The second reason possibly could be denial as a protective shield. So many people, again, can be in denial about their own illness, right? And when you're telling a loved one, then again, the body's natural way of responding and protecting from such devastating news can be denial. It's like, oh, no, maybe, you just need another second opinion. Maybe they didn't really mean it like that. Maybe you misheard. Oh, you'll be okay. You're not that sick. You're not going to die. But you seem okay. You seem fine. When I talk to you, when I see you and everything, you're fine. And that's denial. It's the body's way of protecting them from such devastating news that their loved one is either very sick or terminally sick. Maybe they're afraid of burdening you with how they're feeling. They don't want to fully express how they're feeling or have their presence, when they're so upset, making you feel worse. So it's their way of trying to be supportive, but it can really come across, again, as indifference. People also have different coping styles. Some people react to grief and illness, in different ways. Some can appear outwardly supportive, but inwardly they're struggling, while others can be very solution focused and avoid dwelling on the emotional impact. And this can make the responses seem very mismatched to what you were needing at the time. People will be like, well, maybe you just need to go and see an herbal doctor. Maybe have you tried acupuncture? Take this pill that works for me or whatever. And that's not really what you're needing right then. But that's them trying, in their own way because they care to be supportive. But again, it can just leave you feeling very upset and angry and like they just don't really fully get it and that maybe they don't care or whatever. Some people prefer to listen without giving advice, while others, like I said, can try to fix the situation or offer platitudes even that feel dismissive. And platitudes can be very infuriating too, right? Well, just keep your chin up, you know. Just be grateful. It could be worse. And yes, all of those things are true. And yeah, you gotta be strong. What other alternative do you have, right? And yes, there is so much to be grateful for. Yes, it could always be worse. And absolutely be grateful that it isn't worse. But the reality is, this is an incredibly sucky situation that certainly could be better. So I totally understand how you could feel, and I totally get how some of our loved ones that mean well just really don't know what to say, what to do, and especially when it's advanced illnesses. People can lose the ability to hear, which can make them seem less responsive to verbal cues. This is a medical reality. It's not a lack of care. So if you're telling someone maybe that is hearing impaired or whatever, again, try to remember that they may have just not fully heard you. They may not even be able to respond to verbal cues if they are severely ill. And they might love you to the moon and back, but it's just their medical condition. So try to be sensitive of that side of it too, because people are complicated. People can be wonderful and everything. And, we can love our family, we can love our friends dearly, and we can wish that they responded in a different way to what we're needing at that time. And that's completely understandable. But we also need to be sensitive to what they may be feeling and what they may be going through with this devastating news that you're presenting them with. So I will see you next time. Take care. God bless.